All right, so as we learned in the video, the general formula, they call this the general formula for finding the volume of any prism or prism-like solid like a cylinder is the base area times the height. And since the area of our base here is a circle, it's pi times radius squared. Quick thing about circles that we should review though. There's two commonly measured quantities on a circle. So let's discuss what they are. So go ahead and draw a circle and then draw a segment that goes right through the middle. Anyone remember what we call this distance from one end to the other end through the middle? That's the diameter. And it's commonly given as one of the dimensions, although if we are given, in this case, if they do tell us the diameter, we're going to have to convert that to a radius because the distance we're looking for is the radius. And the conversion is radius equals the diameter divided by 2. So if they ever give you a diameter, cut it in half, and that's your radius. And if ever you do need the diameter, which you do when you're finding the circumference, and they give you the radius, it's 2 times the radius. Okay? But the main one we're going to be using whenever they give us a diameter instead of a radius is divided by 2. Okay? All right. So we're going to do 2 things. And this is something we normally don't do in the other classes, but for those of you, well, you guys will be going into geometry. It's good to know this now. A lot of times we want to write our answers in terms of pi and then convert them, okay? So we're going to do that here. So let's just practice here. It says round your answer to the nearest tenth. And we're going to need to convert pi at some point. So we're going to use the following conversion. So as you all know, pi is a number that goes on forever. It's irrational. And we have several digits over there on the sidewall. We're only going to use 3.14. Okay? So let's find the volume. And the formula is volume equals pi radius squared times the height. So if we're going to leave an answer in terms of pi, we don't convert into 3.14 right away. So leave it as pi. It's going to be kind of like a variable. Replace everything else. So let's see, do we know the radius? Yay or nay? Yay, yes, we do. And then this is the height. So we just plug those numbers in. So leave pi as pi. And then this becomes 10 squared or 100 times 18. Okay, so you square your number and then multiply that times 18. And that would give us what value? 1,800. And then we haven't done anything with pi. So leave it as pi and then the units. In this case, they're millimeters. So for volume, is it millimeters, millimeters squared, or millimeters cubed? Cubed. Cubic units. So that is the answer in terms of pi. 1,800 pi millimeters cubed. Okay. Now, that's the exact answer. The problem with the exact answer, if you need this in the real world, not very useful, right? So this is where a calculator would come in handy. And we do 1,800 times 3.14. $5,652. Okay. And so that is going to be our approximate answer. So one answer is in terms of pi, and the other answer is approximated when we replace pi with 3.14. Okay. All right. Tell you what. I'd like you to try number 2. There's our formula. We went through the process. We got to look out for one thing, though. What do we notice about this particular cylinder? Yeah, it doesn't have the radius. It's got a diameter, but that's easily enough calculated. What is it, 20 feet for the diameter? So the radius is going to be 10 feet. So now we have a radius, and then we have a height. So go ahead and work that out. Try it out. Leave an answer in terms of pi first, and then convert it by using 3.14. Check with what I did. I got 4,082, and then 1,300 pi. Okay. All right. So I think that's enough there. I mean, they'll give you some word problems as well, but we've practiced enough with that. I want to move on to the second part on the next page. Where we want to find the missing value. All right, so go ahead and take a look at this particular cylinder. So they give us the volume, 9,820.58 cubic inches. They give us a radius. And then the part we don't know is the height. That's our unknown. I'll just use x there. So we're still going to use our formula. Volume equals pi radius squared height. And then we're just going to replace anything we can find the value for. So we know the volume. So replace volume with 9,820.58. Times pi. We'll leave it as terms of pi right now. Actually, I think it'd be easier just to do it. Times 12 squared times x. So I guess I'll just use x there. So it's pi times 12 squared times x. So, yeah. Simplify 12 squared, that's 144. Pi x. Okay. And 9820.58 goes here. And then we want to figure out x, right? So we eventually have to divide. What should we divide by? You could do it at any point. I think we'll do it on this step. Okay, so we're going to divide 9,820.58 by 144 times pi. So, unfortunately, we didn't think about that on these not so great calculators. We should probably figure out what 144 times pi is. Yeah, so let's divide by 452.16. So x turns out to be 9,820.58 divided by 452.16. Okay. To 0.58 divided by 452.16. 21.7. So we'll round this and leave it as 21.7. Okay. All right. So this will be the last one. What do we need to find on the last one? Yeah. And since it's squared, that means we're gonna square root. Okay. So let's plug in what we know. And so that's the volume, 3,914.9 equals pi times radius squared times the height, which is 13.1. Okay. So let's go ahead and what can we simplify over here? Since we are going to use 3.14, can I multiply 3.14 times 13.1? Yeah, let's do that. So replace pi with 3.14 and multiply it times 13.1. I know we want to round, but use all the digits. We'll do the rounding at the very end. So write it as 41.134. So this is 3,914.9 equals 41.134 r squared. Now let's divide by that for 41.134. And we're going to get r squared. So now let's do 3,914.9 divided by 41.134. I got this. And what do we have to do from there? Square root it. Oh God, that's an ugly number. Well, we're going to square root all of this. So it should be 9 point something. The square root of 81 is, let's make it 9.8. So the radius is 9.8 feet. Okay, all right. No, well, this is just the length. If it was the volume, yeah, that would be cubic. But this is a linear dimension, yeah, right? It's one dimensional. So these are in inches or feet. All right. So on the assignment today, I think the SMART score is 8. And we're going to practice with cylinders.